It's going straight down the length of the arm. Not here, because unless he's Brock Lesnar, I'm going to fold this, just by leaning on it. Especially if it's inside of 90 degrees. So this, on my hip line. Now watch. Yeah, surf it. By that I mean move fluidly with my movement. Of course, it stays right there. Don't let me go close. Now, yeah. Look at that. That's a strong frame. Now if you would do the same thing here, hold this. Can't do it, right? Same thing with your hand position. When you're in here, I'm going to lean, I'm going to fold it, you're never going to get that limb back. From a self-defense perspective, I'll bite you, chew your ear off, and there's nothing you can do about it. So hands have to be in correct position. This hand here, same thing. Ideally, you want this hand to have an underhook. Underhook here. Now a lot of people think, that old school underhook, man, that's going to get you Kimura real quick. Kimura is this. Here, 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 and I'm going to break his arm this way. The only time it gets you Kimura, go top, is when this underhook is not active. By active, I'll show you what I mean. Here's my underhook. Now turn Kimura. Kimura the hand. This one. Yeah, there. I broke my arm. Okay, now watch what happens. Go back. Watch what happens, this underhook. This underhook is connected to this foot. Meaning, look, if I take this foot off the ground and I drive this arm up, brings the leg down, right? But if I put this on the floor and drive it up with a hip escape, look, it's connected to the ground. So watch this. In order for him to hit the Kimura, what happens? This shoulder has to come away from me. Well, I'm going to go with that shoulder, and it's going to be framed against the ground. He's never going to get that space back. So go back, turn flat, hit a Kimura.
Nice.
See the difference? If I lay there and I let him take the weight off that shoulder without tracking him and using that underhook as active, yeah, absolutely, you're going to get Kimura. But that's not jiu-jitsu. That's you failing at a successful position. So, lay down. Ideally, he wants an underhook here. We won't even address that because if I give him an underhook and I can give him a 1 hour lesson, he'll get out every time with an underhook. The difficult part is getting out without an underhook. The difficult way to get out of side control is this. I don't let him get, he goes to swim for an underhook. Look, I drop my shoulder where he can't get that hand because this is what he wants to do. Underhook, right? So I'm going to defend that. Here. So where are you going to put your hand if you can't get it on underhook? No, here. Then you go to sleep. So here, you want it straight on the other side of my head and straight down my spinal column. Yep. Now, I'll show you the methodology behind that. Jiu-jitsu is about leverage, right, guys? If I'm not connected to the ground, I have nothing. To escape every position, it's one of two fundamental movements. It's a bridge or a hip escape. Now, the most fundamental aspect of a hip escape is this. Again, everybody probably thinks they know it, but no offense, but a lot of them you probably don't. A hip escape. I'm starting with my heels as close to my butt as possible. So I want my pelvis off the ground. If you're limber, you can do that. Your pelvis comes off the ground. If not, bring your heels to your butt and then spider walk. So your pelvis comes off the ground. Now, at least one foot has to remain on the ground at all times. Because look, if I do a hip escape and I put myself on my side, boom! As soon as I take this leg off the ground, come up and lean on the shoulder. No, stand up. Use both. There you go. Watch this, guys. If I turn sideways and I look, I take the foot off the ground, he flattens me right back out, right? I have to have this connection to the ground. So maybe again. So look, whenever I bridge, I'm going to keep this foot on the ground. Look, it's framed on the ground. Now I can get out because I'm connected to the ground. So that's another fundamental element that's missing from, you can watch it at every level. And guys hip escape like this to get out. And they wonder, man, that escape doesn't work, I'm going to give it up. I'm going to go to something fancy like this. Now, rather learn the position that works may take you a lot of mat hours, but there's no shortcuts. There's no flash submissions. The fundamentals work. They're hard to learn, but there's a right or wrong answer for every position. And if you like to do something fancy, I'll give you an example. Say, from no knowledge of martial arts, there's one position that's maybe out of 1 to 100, it's a 95. There's another position that's like a 50. But if you took a student that spent 10 years studying that 50% position, he's going to hit that more frequently than the 95. But it ain't because it's a better position. It's because he spent more time drilling it, right? So back to the side control before we get into another analogy. Here, straight down my spinal column. Now, don't grab material, make a fist just like you're trying to, no offense, but like you're trying to throw your thumb up my ass. Straight up, exactly, thumb down, make a fist. Now, bridge, connect this to the floor. Not straight into me, and bring your hip out. Connect, yeah, look, I'm, no. There you go, there you go. Now, look, I have two options here when he bridges into me. I want to flatten that shoulder out, right? In order to do that, what do I have to do? Bring my knees off the ground. If my knees go off the ground, what's he going to do? He's going to bring that knee in and recover his guard. I have two options. I can maintain on this arm, in which case, if I transition this arm to the hip, what happens? He gets an underhook, which is beautiful as well. So from here, he bridges into me. Now look, I have to flatten his shoulder out or he's going to get out, right? In order to do that, what happens? See my knee that's protecting his hip? Bring a knee up. He can't get his knee in to recover his guard because I'm blocking it. If I flatten this shoulder out by doing this, look, he recovers his guard. If I'm even halfway thinking, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to flatten that shoulder out, but I'm bringing this hand to the far hip to protect it, what happens? He's going to get this underhook. So he bridges into me. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna flatten this out, but I got to protect the hip. Here, look, he has an underhook. That's a fundamental side control escape. That's a fundamental side control escape that works at every single level. And I'll give you an example why people fail at this later.